It is. That's a good bill. Ms. Harper, call the next bill, please.
House Bill 337, Department of Finance, Fiscal Affairs.
Representative South.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a talking points page that's coming around. But generally, the Department of Finance doesn't receive an appropriation from us legislatively. They charge fees and rents and those kinds of things to other state entities. And so this is, at the end of the day, a cleanup bill, but it allows the comptroller to make non-contested payments to vendors outside of the fiscal year. So if there's something that carries over from one fiscal year to the next, if that's not contested, it allows them to do those kinds of things and process payments faster. And so with that, I know there is a technical amendment that you should have in your packet. And you'll see that we're replacing, it is entitled, "And the state or any department division with Director of Finance shall approve such request for payment from the Department, Division, Bureau, Commission, Board, or other agency thereof, and shall draw a warrant on the Treasury from the affected agency's funds for." And so it's literally just saying where we're going to be drawing those funds for in this process. So.
Okay, members, we're on the amendment. Do we have any questions on the amendment? Entertain a motion. Might have a motion. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're back on the bill. Representative South.
So again, it just clarifies the department's authority to charge its fees for services provided in carrying out the department's responsibilities and to allow the state comptroller to pay a vendor which is entitled to payment for goods and services rendered to the state, no matter of the timing of this.
Have a motion, Representative Moody.
I have a person in my district who literally went years and then ultimately lost the contract he had with the state because he wasn't included in the notification to rebid the project and all. They need more opportunity to get this stuff straight.
So to your point, Mr. Mooney, I think there's going to be another bill that's coming behind this one that clarifies some of those things too, because I had some of those issues with a constituent in my district as well.
I've got a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Your bill receives a favorable report. Thanks, sir. Next bill, Ms. Harper.
House Bill 292, Taxation, Certain Aircraft Exempt from ad valorem Taxation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
This bill comes, talking to the Department of Revenue earlier in the year, this amount of money is very minor according to them, and what it does, it allows all aircraft as defined in section 23-1-352 over 30 years of age, in which the person that's the owner of the aircraft is over 65 years of age to be exempt from ad valorem tax. And the 30 years comes from car titles on a car, 65 comes from ad valorem tax exemption on property. Aircraft is the only personal property that actually has ad valorem tax. And there's an amendment coming to further define that this is only for personal use aircraft. It doesn't affect anybody that's making any money or anything like that.
Thank you for doing that. I know that helped on the physical note as well. Do I have any questions before we add the amendment? Ms. Hall?
How many people fall in this category?
It's several, but it's retired people and they have old airplanes, like collector cars. You know, it's I don't have a number of how many people fall in this, but talking to Revenue, first thing I done, and I was thinking about it, and they said, yeah, go ahead. That really doesn't affect us. It's a small amount.
2,100 on the.
No, that's total. Okay. That's total. That doesn't include. So this what this amendment's going to further define that it can't be any jets. It's only personal old airplanes. Right.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, got unlimited there. Okay, we're on the amendment.
I'll make a motion for the amendment.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're back on the bill.
Okay.
Sales.
Any other further questions?
Make a motion as amended.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Your bill receives a favorable report.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Representative Sells. Let me stop right here, and I certainly don't want to embarrass her, but I want to introduce our Paige Ella Jones. Ella is the daughter of Dustin Jones, the LSA Physical Office, I think, sitting behind me here, and she's already been a great help this week and joined the caucus for lunch today, so we appreciate you. Thank you. All right, Ms. Harper, call the next bill on the calendar.
House Bill 140, Shelby County Juvenile Probation Services and Probation Officers included in state court system.
Representative Ellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank
Thank you for bearing with me while I kind of checked with some of our other regional centers related to your bill, so
Well,
glad we
you
got you on
had
today.
some other stuff going on, I think, too, so no problems at all. HB 140 will take the Shelby County Juvenile Probation Officers and put them under as employees of the state. Shelby County is one of only 5 counties that the juvenile probation officers are actually county employees. The problem with that is we've got an Attorney General's opinion that although they're county's employees, the county can't manage them and cannot hold them to certain standards. It creates a heck of a liability issues. If they have wrecks, we can't send them to get drug tests and things like that. So this will put them under as state employees. If anybody has any questions, but that's pretty
Members have any
simply what it
questions?
does.
Ms. Warren.
This only applies to Shelby County. You said how many other counties are out there?
There are 4 other counties that 62 counties have them as state employees and 5 have them as county employees. And Shelby County is one of 5. It was based on a 1990 statute that there was a population cutoff that Shelby County missed it by, I think, 900 people, or we wouldn't be here today.
I was just wondering about the others. Anyone on different?
And I'm not, and this has shine a light on an issue, I think, but I know Madison County is one of
I've
them.
reached out to some of the regional centers before we put it on the calendar.
And I can't remember the others off the top of my head.
Ms. Hall.
Is this another example of a local bill with general applications that we're using here?
It's a general bill because it covers, the statute covers all the juvenile probation officers in the state. So it's not a local, I guess it has local applications for just Shelby County though, if that answers your question.
Not really, but because if you're telling me this covers all of the probation officers presently, but yet we have 5 counties or other counties that are not going to benefit from what you're doing.
Right.
It sounds like this is one of those
Well, and I'm not sure.
tricky to me.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they're running into the same issues that we did in Shelby County or not.
What
So-
was the issue?
Well, the issue was that we had a judge saying that we couldn't manage his employees and couldn't hold them to the same county standards, which Shelby County, like I use the example, if you have a wreck in your car, you immediately go get a drug test to make sure that you're, for liability reasons, and we can't, the Attorney General opinion, which I can share with you guys, clearly says that we couldn't ask them to go get a drug test. We couldn't manage them as county employees, even though they were county employees. They were managed by the juvenile court judge.
I hear, but we keep going back because I keep hearing, and this bill seems to be another example of what I'm seeing is that a bill that has local applications becomes a general bill. And so in that process, it appears that it slights or is trying to get around some challenges that may be looming that we are not aware of. Just my point of view, but I'll do some more research. Thank you.
Point taken, thank you.
Representative Sal.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, at the proper time, I make a motion to give this bill a favorable report. And I duly want to note that Representative Ellis had to bring a bill to our committee in order to get one pass, so
Mr.
he's had a hard time.
Mr. Chairman,
It's been a rough session, I'll admit. It's been a rough session.
Representative Lee.
Representative Hall, I believe this is the only mechanism that they can fix it. And this was laid out, I was just talking to Dustin, this was laid out in 1990 to allow this type process to take place till now. I don't think he has another choice. And those other counties they will have to do the same thing.
Okay, Representative Mooney, you're next. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. It also kind of concerns me too. It may be the only avenue, but I know we've had to deal with. It seems like Shelby County is kind of like that area that we have to deal with. We had to deal with it with the sewer system before. Now this, we have another bill, and it just seems like it should be handled locally through local delegation. But maybe it is the only avenue. But it seems like we're dealing with a lot of local issues.
Right, and that's not intent, but I think.
We've kind of talked through this, and absolutely this has a fiscal note related to the general fund because they're not now becoming state employees, and I felt like that's why it needed to come to a full committee.
Agree.
But we did do it, but the other counties that are impacted the same way.
Let me see, I can answer this properly. So there has been interpretations in some counties related to the authority over these employees differently than in others. But clearly, as Representative Ellis said, we now have an Attorney General's opinion that clarifies that. So we certainly are not going to go out and force the other regional centers to do what Representative Ellis is doing, but he's doing the right thing. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does. Well said.
And my only response to that would be just as the other areas that have chosen a general application for a local bill, we are forcing people who thinks that it should be local to adjust. And it just seems like we're going down that pathway. Nothing against what you're doing, but it just seems like we're opening the door to allow people to avoid a process. What would have happened if you had brought this as a local bill? Would you not be able to do the same thing?
I don't think so. That's my opinion. We need somebody smarter than me to clarify that, way smarter than me. But I think it being, I think it's got to be a general bill just from the statute that it comes from, I think.
And am I also correct to say that your employees' reporting structure may be different than another regional center's?
Correct.
In other words, another one may have employees reporting up through a structure that is not impacted by the Attorney General's opinion. I mean, these are the very questions you're asking is the very reason why we've held this for now 3 weeks, trying to talk through it. But I think, personally, I think we're where we need to be.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Your bill receives a favorable report.
Thank you, members.
sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We'll follow back up more on that, but you're right. We can back to those. Yep. Ms. Harper, next bill on the calendar.
House Bill 220, Shelby County Board of Registrars meeting day.
I thought there was a bill between mine and this one. So you guys have seen bills. We passed this out of committee last year and out of the House chambers, and it never made it through the Senate. But it basically just takes the amount of days that my Board of Registrars can work from 167 to 220. A lot of y'all seen these before. A lot of counties have done it. There's a desperate need in Shelby County for this. We've got, I think, 180-something thousand registered voters, and we just can't get all the work done that we need to get done. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
I think this is the third county we've dealt with in this committee. We have a motion. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Your bill receives a favorable report, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
Next bill, Ms. Harper.
Senate Bill 5, pardons and paroles to further provide for residential transition centers.
This,
Here's one. She put it in the sorry.
Representative Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. This bill is the bill that we, Senate Bill 5, we did, Representative Drummond had this bill last week or the week before in committee dealing with pardons and parole. And if you look on page 1, line 19, if you remember, we amended line 19 from the word 1 to the word 2 as the amendment, and you should have a copy of that amendment going around at this time. But this is the residential, instead of, it said at least one of the residential transition centers should be for women.
Any questions on the amendment? Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's adopted, and we're back on the bill.
Thank you.
Have a motion? Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Your bill receives a favorable report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Do I have a motion to adjourn? So adjourned.